Good to see you, Tom. A fair bit to catch up on since we last spoke. Let's start at the beginning. Judicial review, obviously coming, it's next week, the end of March, coming up next week. What's your understanding, or where are we with that?
Yeah, so it's something which people have been asking questions about. Obviously, the news has come out kind of bit by bit. And again, the conversations are always going on behind the scenes. And, from our understanding, obviously the hearing is at the end of the month. We have been told by the barristers not to expect a decision on the day that actually the information's collated. The judge will go away and make a decision, and that will come back at a later date. And I think, the club has absolutely no control in this, and actually looking at it, we're relying on barristers and judges, which they'll do their own thing. I've certainly got no influence over them. And I think, from my personal point of view, and actually as a board, this isn't something the club's been through before, certainly not in recent times. And it's incredibly frustrating, but I think, again, we have to go with the process. And I think it's just being clear that on that day, we can't expect a decision. It is going to be a length of time after that for us.
So the club's an interested party in this process. Of course, this is between Sildara and West Northamptonshire Council. But as you say, really, it's just a case for all parties, once the hearing's happened, of sitting and waiting, and the judge will deliver their verdict whenever they're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to wait. It is frustrating, but we have to respect that. As you say, this isn't something the club's directly involved in. It's between two different parties, and we all know which outcome we want, but we've got to wait patiently for that. And hopefully here as soon as we can, but leave it up to the judges.
That's a bit of a waiting game. Now, let's move on to other topics. It's that time of year again, season tickets. I know you've had a fair bit of correspondence, and a few fans have been reaching out to you asking season tickets for next season. What's the current position?
So I think from that, one of the things I wasn't perhaps aware of is how early those discussions start and things are starting to look at. And there's obviously a huge amount of work that goes on behind the scenes. I think we've seen a few other clubs starting to release their figures now, and the tickets for next year. But one of those conversations that's been going on, and I think every business is having this conversation, and football sort of isn't, away from it. The rising cost, the stewarding cost, the electricity cost, that actually with those, I know the details are coming out in the forthcoming days, and hopefully they're at a place where actually we need as many season ticket holders as we can, renewing, and new season ticket holders for next season as well, and hopefully it's an attractive proposition for people to really keep behind the club and see us keep moving forward together.
I know you've spoken to a lot of fans travelling to games, from games at matches, both home and away, and you've been able to gauge a fair sort of cross-section of support on season tickets.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've only got to look, as you say, I spoke to fans at Hartlepool, you read kind of comments online, and you always have to be careful online. I think some are kind of made more outrageous by the fact that you can't identify them to a person, but actually when you're looking at it, having those discussions with people and looking at it, that actually we want, a competitive team and squad and everything that goes with it, and the balance behind that of those rising costs that are there. And obviously prices haven't risen over a decade now. But I think, hopefully with these announcements that are made this week, like as I say, we'll see as many renewals and also new season ticket holders as well. Also this week at Sixfields is a grassroots event taking place. Now, the club's very proud of its role in the community. It's at the heart of the community, and a new venture, the club reaching out to junior football clubs to try and build those partnerships. Yeah, absolutely. The key thing about football is it's for absolutely everyone, and we are the heart of the community as a club, and I think we've seen that on the field and off the field. And actually, these junior grassroots clubs, they're our future players, supporters, they're absolutely part of it. And I think to hear people's opinions, of how we get things, improve things even further going forward, can only be a good thing for Northampton Town Football Club, but also Northamptonshire as a whole, and beyond that, the impact that will have. So yeah, encourage people to sort of come along and give their views. We'd love to hear more.
We'll touch on a few topics now. I know you've received questions on, so you can bring the answer to a wider audience if you like. Couple to start with, the latest on the training ground and also the big screen at Sixfields.
So with the training ground, I was invited up by Kelvin and James to go and see the site recently, and I think from a playing perspective there, absolutely fascinating to see the work that goes on, especially the day before a match. the kind of meticulous level of detail that's going in the preparation, and actually the facilities there that have improved since the last time I visited several years ago already, and to actually look through there. And from those points of view, I get some fans might be a little bit frustrated. Things are at contractual stages with obviously the college as well, and we want those resolved as quickly as we can. But actually those plans are really, really exciting when it comes to the training ground. And I think, again, from a player's perspective, seeing the players eat together after the training and be together, I think, as we move those things forward, it's only going to benefit the club for the future. When it comes to the big screen, I know there were conversations at the fans forum that we had to look at the fact that the screen is actually part of a bigger deal, in a sense that actually there's going to be a screen outside the stadium, and there's some final kind of checks being done, things there, anything that involves electricity, you've obviously got to make sure things are done correctly in the right way. And actually once that's sorted, actually the screen inside then will hopefully get completed. I know there's been initial kind of conversations and visits to make sure things are there. And I think as a supporter, as a fan, we all want everything done today, but actually to get things done, this is a real good deal for the club going forward. And actually, hopefully come the start of next season, that'll be in place and sort of ready for us to kind of see lots of goal highlights and things, and first goal scorers flashing up. We'll look forward to seeing that.
So things moving forward with both the big screen and the building at the training ground. And something else that's moving forward as well, the prize for the More Than Football Award. Now this was the community award the club won, best in the whole of Europe. Amazing achievement. The prize there was part of the prize, I should say, was a five-a-side pitch, and I know the plans for that are progressing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think first up, a huge congratulations to absolutely everybody at the Community Trust for the hard work that went into that. A fantastic project, and to get recognition on a European-wide level, the clubs we were beating was absolutely phenomenal. And I know the team do so much work, even more so than that project as well. But actually, from our point of view, the ground survey's taken place for that here at Sixfield, so that will be going in hopefully in the forthcoming months. And again, it'll be a great addition for the community and helping people both on match days and outside of match days as well.
We haven't even touched on things on the pitch yet. Obviously, as a big Cobblers fan, you must be enjoying things at the moment. It's been a fantastic season, and the last few home games, drama of all sorts, but 3 good wins. Yeah,
I think absolutely. And again, I go to pretty much every game that I can. We pick up the feedback. There's some real highs and some challenges, but actually, absolute credit's got to go to John and the management team. I think we've seen their commitment to the club, and actually the club's commitment to them in terms of kind of renewal of contracts. You sometimes start to think, have I done something wrong with some of the injuries and the impact injuries that are there? And I won't mention refereeing decisions, I don't want to get in any trouble, but actually you look at things and actually, there could be so many turning points in that, from that red card to Jack Sowerby's volley that actually flew in the top corner. And I think that's one of the loudest cheers I've heard at Sixfields for a long time. And I think the atmosphere in the games since then, it really does help the lads. And I think you can see the confidence growing. And, we've got lots and lots of games left to go. And it's, we need everyone's support for every single one of them games. And, I think the thing that's really reassuring is you've got the commitment of the management and the players who are giving absolutely everything they can. Obviously the volunteer role here on a match day, you see what happens behind the scenes afterwards. The lads on Saturday were absolutely exhausted, and I think as a fan of the football club, when you see players giving their all, that's what you ask for. And to see them after the game, I thought I was going to have to help a few of them out the ground, but they've just literally put their bodies on the line. And the lads who are out injured now are still here cheering the team on, and I think that togetherness is absolutely massive.
9 players aged 23 or under involved in the win over Mansfield, 10 involved in the win on Saturday over Crewe. As you say, they look just like a group of young men giving them all, but having fun at the same time. And I think that, as a fan, you'll probably know better than me, but that's something that the fans in the stand can relate to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you start to look forward, and we don't want to get too carried away and looking into next season and things in the future, but these players that we're bringing in, and the recruitment strategy that's gone with that, it's not through luck, it's through thought. We've brought players in at younger ages, and actually seeing them go out onto the pitch and grasping that chance. If someone's out injured or suspended, that shirt's up for grabs, and to see these young players. And I think it was only after the game on the Tuesday that I'd suddenly thought, wow, the average age of that team must be incredibly low. And you look at the bench, but actually, these players are earning their place on that bench, and if now's the chance, then we said at the very, very start of the season it was going to be from the first kick to the last kick, and every player and every supporter's got a part to play in that. So, I think the future looks bright, and hopefully we can just keep battling through these next few games, and hopefully that little bit of luck that we don't seem to have had a lot of the season will shine on us.
We'll just finish off, Tom, with a few questions that I think have come your way over the last few weeks. Hummel and the kit situation looking ahead to next season. Obviously the club shop closed for a period around Christmas, and then the club managed to get it reopened. A few problems around the company that ran the club store at the time, but obviously just what's the latest on the Hummel and the kit situation?
So firstly, I think with that, credit to the staff and kind of the full-time staff that are here that actually managed to get everything set up again and going again. I know it was an incredibly difficult situation, and one which you can't really prepare for something like that happening. So, the staff there have done a tremendous hard job, been involved with conversations with James in terms of, plans for next season. And as a supporter, I probably didn't understand the thoughts that go into it in terms of all those sorts of preparations. And I know that kind of early April, we're expecting kind of news there and an announcement on the plans for next season. So all I can say to people is don't be asking me what colour the kits are and what's happening, because that's information we want to share with everyone at the same time, and hopefully we'll know that quite soon.
And just a final quick couple, 4 home games left. I know some supporters have been in touch with you to ask maybe about ticket offers for the final 4 games to ensure big crowds, and also possibility of clap banners.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, everything around kind of match day and supporters experience, one of the things I've learned, and I'll repeat again, is that everyone's got a different experience here at Sixfields. And again, the clap banners, I've had people that say they're the best thing, and then I'll have people that say they really don't like them. But actually, one of the things we've got to look at now is what makes it different for the lads on the pitch. And actually, the more noise that we can create, and if we can get kind of people involved in those sorts of things, we've all got a part to play. And when it comes to kind of offers, actually, you look in the last 4 home games of the season tend to be your biggest sellers. I know we have the same match sponsor, so all of the hospitality and things are very nearly full. We want to get as many people down here as we can, and actually get those experiences going for people. There might be an opportunity for us as well to get even more home supporters in as well, which I think is great. And I'd just encourage people, however they can, bring along a friend. Tell your family, we're playing some great football. This is, it's our team, it's our club. We've got local management team that are giving absolutely everything they can. And if we can fill Sixfields as much as we can for those 4 games, then, I think that's the key message as a supporter of things that we can do. I think, if you want the kind of business logistics side behind it, it can get quite tricky. Obviously, people have already bought tickets for those games. You start running offers, it can cause confusion, and kind of people can get upset in different ways. And again, I see my role as listening to the individuals as well as many fans as I can. So, yeah, by all means, please keep those ideas coming in. And if there's anything we can do to boost those, I know we've got the community day coming up as well, which, it's fantastic seeing these next generation. And actually, kind of recently, we had a message from a supporter who'd attended kind of the first season with his daughters and was just absolutely loving the experience here at Northampton Town Football Club. And the more messages that we can get like that to bring in the next generation of supporters, the better. And if people have got ideas, please do get in contact. People can always email me, catch me on a match day during a home match day. I'll make sure I'm down in Carsbar for a period of time before and after the game if I can. But also I get messages, via email. So please keep those ideas coming, and let's do everything we can to make these final games as successful as we can as supporters.
Thanks for your time, Tom.